Yeah. So this is day one of 26 days to my 52nd birthday. I will be 52 years old on January the 21st. And I decided to do something. Because, listen, I wanted to journal these days, every day for the next 26 days leading up to my birthday, sharing thoughts, sharing lessons learned, sharing failures, sharing anxiety, depression, divorce, sharing some things that's in my closet that no one knows about. And so this is a challenge, not for you, but for me. I'm doing this for me. And so today I want to start off by just kind of talking a little bit about mortality and how I see my immortality and how I see God and how I see myself now. Let me tell you, I've probably spent the major portion of my life doubting myself. Now, people who have been around me and known me for years, they would say, "Oh no, Steve, you've always come off extremely confident. Always came off as extremely strategic or having a direction." But can I tell you that most of my life I have used arrogance and ego to mask my insecurities. I never really knew, I want you to hear me, especially young people in your 20s and 30s. I want you to hear me. I never really knew what I was going to do. I never really knew who I was. And then when I started to know who I was and discover it, I wanted to reject it because I knew it would mean a heavy burden for me to carry. I ran from my call to preach most of my life. And then when I accepted my call to preach, I felt so unworthy, I would not even go in the pulpit and sit. See, I knew all of the stuff I was still doing. And I did not want to mock God. I felt like me preaching the gospel was hypocrisy at its highest level. Because I knew I was a womanizer. I knew I liked to party and drink. And I knew if I could find a way to get over, I was going to do it. And because I didn't really know who I was, I didn't think it was appropriate for me to preach the gospel, to lead people, to talk to people. I mean, and listen, I always felt like it was my gift, but I didn't feel worthy of it because I felt like I was not using it appropriately. Or a better word would be, I didn't want to pimp it. And I felt like many preachers were pimping gifts. That's what it was. And I didn't want to be that guy. So I avoided it like the plague. But now understanding at 51 who I am, purpose, embracing the vision, embracing who God has called me to be for the first time in my life, y'all. I want y'all to hear me. I hope this helps somebody. That's why I'm doing these really little video journals. I told a friend of mine after my good friend Aaron was killed in a car accident, I told him, I said, I've made a lot of video to be archived for my grandchildren and children and people to see when I'm gone. That's the one thing I like about technology, is I can create a video journal of good days and bad days, right? I can come on here and do like this. And who knows, this right here one day may be something my grandson will go back and look on and learn about his grandpa, right? Or understand better where I was at 51 versus 21 and 31 and 41. But at 51 now, I understand my call. I understand the vision. I understand the purpose. And probably more important than that, I now have a real understanding who God is in my life. For years, and because of bad teaching, I really didn't understand my authority. I really didn't understand kingdom principles. I didn't really understand the message of Jesus Christ, that Jesus preached, thy kingdom come. His message was about the kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. And I didn't understand that all these many years. All people ever talked to me about was the byproduct of kingdom living. But I didn't understand kingdom living, what the kingdom was, and kingdom principles. But through the years of working out my salvation, through the years of going now for 10 years having a therapist, walking me through the traumas of my childhood and walking me through why I felt insecure around certain people and why I felt it necessary to put on a mask with certain people and be something that I wasn't. And oh man, it has these 51 years and the last 10 has been eye-opening. Going to the doctor some 100 and something days ago and him telling me about that I have diabetes and high blood pressure and either you get it together or you die. It gets real for you and it puts everything in perspective. It has given me a new hunger for understanding who Christ is and the kingdom and my mindset and thinking and the devil and demons. See, I didn't understand for a long time. I'm being transparent, and many preachers don't understand either, because if they did, they would talk to you more about this. The devil is not omnipresent. God is. The devil can't be in more than one place at one time. He has demons that he can send out. But do you understand that most of what we deal with is not the devil, but the ploys of the devil that he planted in our heads when we were babies and infants and toddlers, and it's those thoughts. I want you to hear me. Understand now. God has helped me understand this better. It is the seeds he planted in our minds that we battle against. So it's not even the battle with the devil as much as it is the battle with the seeds he planted that has grown in our minds. So we have an understanding that is dysfunctional on who we are because he planted those seeds. See, he can't come and be in here with me right now and be with you who's watching this. He can't do that. He's not God. He can only plant the seeds in our heads that we then water and magnify. Once we understand the seeds that he planted in us were not the proper seeds and began to do the work to dig those seeds up, to dig that soil up of our minds, to clean that out completely and replace it with proper perspective and thinking, because in my 51 years, I'll end with this for the first video. I have learned that perspective is everything. Life is all about how you see each and every situation, good and bad. And because of the seeds that the enemy has planted in us through our raising, that's what hinders us. It's us who hinders us. It's not the enemy and the devil. I have been given the enemy and the devil too much power in my life. Woo. God has helped me understand that I have all power through him to defeat any and everything that comes against me. See, we've been taught that our future is in front of us, but that goes against what God's word says. His word is clear. Our future is inside of us. We pursue what's inside of us. See, that's a whole nother level of thinking that's hard for many people to grab hold of because of bad teaching our entire life. We've always talked about chasing after, running after, and going after our future. But our future is inside of us. And we are to spend time developing that to bring it out, to share with the world. Everything we need, I've learned in 51 years now, is already in us, is in me. Everything I need. Because here's the powerful statement. God said to me and to you, he created us in his image. That means if I'm created in his image, he's God, he has all power. That means what? We have all power. And until we can really receive and believe that about ourselves, hey, it's all about self-awareness, young people. People my age who are not self-aware, who don't know who they are. That's why you can see them fluctuating and trying to dress like they 20 and they 50. They struggle with getting old. Not self-aware, because when you're self-aware, aging is a beautiful thing to you. I love my gray hair. I love getting older. Listen, I got about 30 more years in me. And this next 30 is going to be the best 30 of my life, God willing. I said what I believe. That ain't what God's told me. We go when he says it's time to go. I'm saying I've got 30 more years in me, and that this 30 years is going to be the best because I have a better understanding of life. And more importantly, I have a better understanding of the power of God in me. That everything I need is in me. I had set a 15-minute time limit for this. I'm right on time. That everything I need is inside of me. That is left up to me to cultivate that through the books I read, the people I spend my time with. Let me stop right there. It matters who you spend your time with. You are the 5 people you spend your most time with. It matters what you allow in your head, what you allow to come in, who you talk. I can't be around certain people because their conversation is never right. Don't think that don't impact your frame of mind, your emotions, the roller coasters that we have. It absolutely does. But now I can pursue this next 30 years with a level of peace and confidence and joy. I've been talking about wondering, had I ever experienced peace and joy? And God said, yes, you have, Steve. It's just not supposed to always be steady. He said, you're not going to always feel that high. He said, but that's why my grace and mercy is there for you. Because when you're not in that place, I got you. Woo! See, understanding that better keeps you from going into deep depressions when you don't feel that peace, when you don't feel that joy, but you know. Woo! That's come with age now, that I know that I'm kept, that I know I'm not supposed to always be here, that I know I'm not supposed to always be there, that it's about the steadiness. That's what it's about, steadiness. My friends, 51. 26 more days to January 21st, and I'll be 52. God willing. So as always, I'll end this with what I've been saying for the last 5 years. Serve, care, and love. I'm looking forward to 52. God willing.